Welcome! Today we're going to be taking a look at the Aftershock Impulse V2. The Impulse V2 is our ultra-compact gaming desktop. It's a small form factor desktop and it uses a standard desktop ITX motherboard, meaning the Impulse V2 can be upgraded in the future with a different motherboard. And what makes this small form factor PC truly unique is that unlike most of the small form factor PCs on the market, you can actually swap your full-length graphics card down the road if you want a graphics card upgrade, and it can support Intel i5 and i7 8th generation processors. The Impulse V2 is extremely customizable and you can select from various storage options as well. It's hard to tell you guys just how small this PC is, and we're going to put this next to some everyday objects to give you an idea of the size of this PC. So here we have a graphics card box, basically a GTX 1080 Ti box, and as you can see, the Impulse V2 is actually slightly smaller than the package for a graphics card. And we have a 1080 graphics card as well. We're just going to put it next to the Impulse V2, and as you can see, the unit is actually about the same length as the graphics card. So it's just amazing we've managed to fit, a motherboard, 2 storage drives, a full-length GPU, and everything just into this really compact PC while maintaining an awesome cooling performance on it. We're going to put some other objects next to the Impulse V2. So we have a can of potato chips. So you can just imagine, how small this unit is on your desk. The Impulse V2 is just really ideal for users who want a desktop with a small footprint, or they just want a clean minimalist setup, as we have designed this desktop casing to look as clean and minimalistic as possible. So we're just going to have a quick look around the system. The Impulse V2 is made of aluminum alloy, and it's a premium material. It looks really awesome from just about any angle, and it feels really nice to the touch as well. And we're going to have a look at the connectivity options of the Impulse V2. There are 2 USB 3.0 ports at the front, and over at the back there's a whole slew of ports, depending on which ITX motherboard you select. Most ITX modern motherboards have more than enough connectivity options for just about any user, and the Impulse V2 comes with built-in AC Wi-Fi. On the left and right of the Impulse V2, we have basically your grills where there's air intake for the system to take in air to keep it cool. And actually how the Impulse V2 is actually set up is we have the CPU and the rest of the components on one side, while if you flip it over to the other side and remove the grills, you can actually see the graphics card is actually mounted there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the Impulse V2 and put it through several gaming benchmarks to show you just how well it will perform with some of the latest titles. The Impulse V2 can be configured with the GTX 1050 all the way to the GTX 1080 Ti, and we have this particular unit here set up with a GTX 1060. It's our base recommended configuration, and this will show you just what you can expect from the Impulse V2 for gaming at 1080p. So we're going to kick off this benchmarks with the Impulse here running on a GTX 1060 and an i5 processor. So this is a more conservative configuration. It's actually the basic recommended configuration, and it's an ideal configuration for 1080p. So we have here several games. We're going to start with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, a hugely popular game, and this one's running at 1080p high settings, and we're just going to showcase the performance of the Impulse of a GTX 1060. Don't forget, as a user, you can configure the machine with a 1050, 1060, 1070, 1080, or even a 1080 Ti, so you can get the performance to suit your exact needs. So the high preset, we generally see FPS in the 70 to 80 range, and we're just going to showcase that here quickly. So next up guys, we have Overwatch. So Overwatch is a popular Blizzard FPS game, and we just want to show you how the GTX 1060 handles this game for those of you who are considering which graphics card to put into your Impulse. This one's running at ultra settings at 1080p. In the top right you can see the FPS is way above 100. So next up we have The Witcher, running at the high preset 1080p. So this is the ideal preset for a GTX 1060. If you're equipping your Impulse with the GTX 1070, we would recommend Ultra. So as you can see, we're getting in the 50s for the FPS for The Witcher, which is really comfortable for such a demanding game. So for a GTX 1060, you'll be able to get most games on high or ultra settings at 1080p. If you're going for 1440p or 4K, you'd want to look higher for the graphics cards. So here we have the automated benchmark tool for Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood, the latest expansion set for the MMO. And we have it set at the high preset for desktops. So just to showcase how the GTX 1060 and the Impulse handles this game. So as you can see, the FPS we're getting for this game is easily above 60. You know, most of them, even in the demanding scenes. And if you want to learn more about the Impulse and how you can configure it, even with graphic cards above the GTX 1060, you can visit our website at www.aftershockpc.com.